Hi, my name is Tamika Chambers, and welcome to my channel where it's all about helping people to remember who they are and create a generational love cycle. As you know, I didn't say break the cycle of pain because I believe, and you have probably heard, that we want to focus on what we want to do, what we want to happen, what is the result of our efforts. And so when I was a young girl, I had a question in my mind. I wanted to know, why do people hurt people? And so that led me on a journey of seeing more about this projection of pain, understanding that what I had experienced as a child was not personal. Pain that I had experienced was recycled pain. That there is a generational cycle of pain that circulates around the world, that calluses many hearts, that infects many generations or have infected many generations and have dismantled the family concept. The concept I believe our Creator had in mind for us when He designed the family. And so during the month of May, as you know, it is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. And what I wanted to do, this was a thought that came to me last year, was to share my mother's treasures. Those principles, those words of wisdom that I gained from her experience, that she humbly shared things that she went through. And so I am sharing those with you, with parenting, with principles, purpose, and vision. That I was looking today, and I've done some research regarding what's going on in the world. And my mother always encouraged us to pay attention to the news. It wasn't about being fearful, but to learn, to educate yourself, to inform yourself. And so I looked up some information. And did you know that during the year of 2021, we had a significant rise in gun violence, that we continue to see rape and sexual assault, that we continue to see homicides and suicides. In 2019, suicides is one of the 10th leading causes of death, that we continue to see a rise in chronic health conditions, robbing us of this wonderful body that our Creator created. It is the vehicle for our message. And so I believe that children are a reflection of our parenting. Motherhood is an opportunity, a journey for us to become our highest version of ourselves. That our children help us to see the weakened areas in our foundation. That we as parents help to reinforce the truths that God placed in their minds and wrote on their hearts. That He did that for all His children. We are still, as mothers, our Father's child. And my mother, when I was 14, I realized, I said, oh my gosh, I have a mother that shares her experiences so that we can have a better life. And I believe that is part of motherhood. That if we do not have something that we stand on firmly, we will we will fall for everything. We will fall for stuff. And that's what we're seeing our children fall for. Looking outside the home, looking for life meaning and purpose, looking for a sense of belonging when they already belong because their birth justified their existence here on earth. That motherhood is not easy, but we have truths that can help us regain our sense of peace, that can help decrease anxiety, that can help reunite the family concept, our family at home, to dismantle myths that we grew up with, saying that it was okay to disrespect others because they look different, because they act different, because they are not of the same social class that we are. It was my mother that didn't look at black and white. She didn't talk about hatred and violence. She talked about our hearts and making sure our hearts were in the right place. And my ground was fertile because it already had experienced pain. And as mothers, that's what I see our role as, is that the pain that we experience, we do whatever we can to prevent our children from experiencing that pain. Do whatever we can. And yes, we're not going to be with them every day, but we can instill with them the tools that they carry along the way in their backpack to help them throughout their earthly journey. And so that's what I'm talking about with parenting, with principles, purpose, and vision. Principles, what our children will stand for. How will they know if a relationship, discern if a relationship is good or not good for them? How will they know why God created them? How will they know the vision that God has for their lives? You know how they will know? It is through their mother, through their parenting, and how and what they believe in. Is it good or is it evil? Because when you get down to it, and I use the Bible as references. I've read other books. I use that. And many of the books that I've read, I've seen they reinforce certain truths. To love, to forgive, to have mercy and grace. And so I take, just like I've read people say, I take out of books what it is that I need to help me be the parent I desire to be and help my children to be the children that God designed them to be. And so my mother, you can go back in the videos and look at them, that my mother encouraged us to give from the heart. That it is our intention that God looks at, a pure heart. And there's a Bible verse for that. We give from the heart, we expect nothing in return. You know, my mother today, the one that I want to talk about is the one that I was talking with my children about at the table. That if you don't learn at home, whatever you don't learn at home, you will learn out there in the streets. You don't learn to respect your parents. You will learn to respect the police. You will learn to respect your peers. We're talking about gangs. We're talking about violence. You go and say the wrong thing to somebody on the wrong day, and things can happen. Whatever we teach, we reinforce within ourselves. Whatever we teach, our children will go out there and express our teachings. My mother would tell us that if you can't listen to me, they will teach you out there on the streets, and they won't be so nice about it. And I tell my kids, if you don't obey your mom and you go out there and you disrespect authority, you will learn the importance of respecting authority. Whether you are alive or you are gone. And many people are gone. They're locked up in prisons. They're locked up, they're underneath ground in a cemetery. And I've stated before that the richest place, Les Brown, Dr. Miles Monroe, just paraphrasing what they said, the richest place in the world is a cemetery, because a lot of children, young and old, didn't understand or didn't know what their purpose was in life. We have a lot of talented children, young and old, that are using their gifts and talents to harm instead of helping others. When you think it's okay, when we allow our children to think it's okay, that they can speak to us any kind of way, that they can treat us any kind of way, they're going to do the same out there. When my son or our boy thinks it's okay to laugh at his sister, to tease his sister? What is stopping him from doing it to his classmates, from doing it to his girlfriend, from doing it to his wife? We start getting into domestic violence, sexual assault, homicides, and suicides. When I let my daughter hit my son and think it's okay, and she goes out and hit her husband, and she is abusing him instead of a man abusing a woman, or they end up abusing each other in domestic violence. Whatever we teach at home, our children will express in the world. And that was a vital principle for me. I wanted to learn at home. I want my children, you want your children to learn at home, because what mother wants to go to a police station to tell the police, please let my son out? He didn't mean it. What mother wants to go to a morgue and identify her son because he didn't respect authority? What mother remembers her child who loved to sing and dance can't do it anymore because he was shot in the back and now he's paralyzed from his waist down? He could still sing, but he was a wonderful dancer. We as mothers have an opportunity to reunite our family. Let's take out, if you will, the religious part of it, and let's bring back the spiritual part of it. When it's about grounding our children in truth, helping them to remember that their life has meaning and purpose, not in a prison, not in a cemetery, not out on the streets in a gang, but they have gifts. They can count right. They can build what the dreams that God has for them. I want to see our children live that. I want to see your children live that. To hear stories about children who were going in the wrong direction, put in the right direction. About successes that no matter where you come from, no matter your family history, no matter how much money, how much food you had in the refrigerator, how much money your mother had in the bank, you are somebody. There is, like Les Brown says, greatness in you. Motherhood is an opportunity. It's not meant for us to be stressful. It's meant to help raise ourselves up with our children to fulfill their divine purpose, for them to remember who they are, and for them to continue to not infect generations with hate and violence and lack of knowledge and lack of truth, but to infect generations with love. It's not too late to reunite our family. It's not too late to ground them in truth. It's not too late to ever give love. Because in love is truth. And truth, I'm going to hold to it, helps to set people free. What principles are you teaching your children? What truths are you giving them? What truths are you reinforcing in your children and in yourselves? Their body, your body is your vehicle for your message, your divine message. Your life has purpose and meaning, and so do your children. We have within us to take our family back. We have within us to stop gang violence, gun violence, to keep our children here on earth for as long as God will have them. Let's not keep repeating the same ways, the same errors, but let's learn from our lessons and instill those principles that we have gathered, those treasures, and reinforce them in our children. This is Tamika Chambers. You can find me on on Anchor and many of your podcasts. create a generational love cycle. You can find me on my blog, TamikaSChambers.com, where I talk about remembering who you are, where I share my recipes and how I am trying my best to maximize my time efficiently and effectively so I can be here for my children, to help them be who God created them to be. And while I am doing that, I am doing that for myself. I'd love to hear your comments. Take care of yourself. And I hope you really think about, how can I reunite my family? What truths do I need to reinforce? I'll talk to you soon.